Cam, a game that felt like it was pretty much won in the first half today.
Yeah, a really strong first half. We were really happy with a lot from the first half. Still plenty for us to probably look back on and things that we can do better, of course. But yeah, really solid first half. Obviously helps getting 2 goals, and we could have had more. And then we probably come off the sort of game at the end of the 90 minutes a little bit disappointed. And I know there's nothing to be disappointed about, winning a game of football, especially in this league. But yeah, we feel a bit disappointed that we sort of lost control a bit in the second half. But again, there's plenty for us to work on, and the way I look at it is it's a clean sheet and a victory. So yeah.
We just mentioned before we started recording that it didn't really feel like there was an awful lot between the sides in that second period.
Yeah, I think they just came out and gave it everything, which we expected them to do, expected a reaction off the first half. And I think that's when we can learn to sustain our control a little bit more, be a little bit smarter in the way that we go about things. But like you said, we come off the pitch, 2-0, clean sheet, and 3 points at home.
What do you think it was that changed? It was just that Forest Green decided to come out and really have to, well, I suppose they had to force the issue, didn't they?
I think it's a mixture of things. They come out, they change the way that they're playing. They put a lot more attacking players on the pitch, which, tries to force us back. We then in turn go a little bit longer. And I think it's just being able to adapt to, what different opposition throws at us. In the first half, we felt like we were comfortable and we sort of had that worked out in that respects. And maybe we need to adapt a little bit better and a bit quicker in the second half. But the boys, it was a real fight in the second half, I felt at times, and nobody shied away from that, and we're really happy with the result at the end.
And into the top half, I know you guys tend not to maybe pay an awful lot of attention, or at least you tell us you don't pay attention to the league table, but that's a positive sign, isn't it, given the way that the managers come in and change things around?
Yeah, it's I could sit here and say we don't look at the table, but it's a motivated group. A real motivated group, and a group that's hungry to be successful. Me in turn as well. So we know exactly what our standards are and exactly where we want to be come the end of the season. That's why we come off the back of that game and we realise we've won a game at home. That's another 3 points in the right direction. But yeah, of course, there's an understanding of the wider scope. But yeah, we're never going to be disappointed, and 3 more points to push us on. I
suppose you kind of have to look at the league table sometimes to give you that motivation and to say you're not far off it.
Of course, it's sort of the old cliche in football with coming out of the Christmas period, everybody's sort of it's almost figures itself out a little bit. League Two may be an exception, because people are always sort of chopping and changing. But we know where we want to be coming out of Christmas, and we know where we want to be, like I said, at the end of the season. So it's a strong, motivated group, and it's a group that keeps an eye on things, in a healthy way. But like I say, we know where we want to be.
A slightly different position for you in the last few weeks, stepping in at centre half. How are you finding it?
Yeah, it's something that I've spoke to the manager, and the manager trusts me to go into that position. I wouldn't say I've found, I'll be open and honest. It's a different sort of position to me from sort of doing things in the final third, with the crossing and things like that, and now it's a much more defensive route. But I think as the games go on, I think I'm feeling a bit more comfortable, and I'm being able to put my spin on that role. And I take big pride in getting a clean sheet like we did today. And I think it's just that sort of honesty that which I pride my game on is I'll always stand. I wasn't happy with the last home game here. I'll openly say that. But it was a game that we didn't lose, and I was really happy to get back out there, get a clean sheet, and that's what I want for the team.
So it's quite an honest thing to say, actually. That most players say, "Oh, yeah, it's easy to step inside," but to have that honesty, shows that you're willing to take that sort of weight on and the responsibility of it as well.
Absolutely. I think I've come here and we've got a lot of younger boys in the changing room, as well as a really good group of sort of middle-aged to a lot of young boys, really good young boys at that as well. And I've got to take on that role and not shy away from it. I'm big enough and old enough to be honest when I'm happy with performances or not. I put the team first, and I've said to the manager and the boys know that's exactly the sort of character I am. So yeah, I was really for myself really happy with that today. I've got to take pride in different things now, like with that clean sheet and everything. And it's just I'll do whatever the gaffer asks me to do and give it everything I've got. That's exactly what I want to be here for.
Is that including teeth? Because we saw you knock one out the other week.
Yeah, I won't do something silly on camera. I've got a little fake one at the moment. I've had plenty of stick from the boys, but it's good. It's a really good, like I've said, it's a motivated group. It's a really good group as well, and we're really starting to bond as well. And that sort of second half performance when we really dig in together, nobody shying away from that. You've got everybody putting their bodies on the line there, and that's what we're going to need from now to the end of the season.